Hello again. Welcome to another pick a card general reading from me. My name is Rebecca, and before I get into the groups and stuff here, I do have to make an announcement that by the time this video is posted, I will have started a Patreon page for myself. I will link it in the description right under the group times that I put there, and you can go check that out and see what I will be offering over there. It's going to be different kinds of readings that won't be posted here publicly on YouTube. You'll get some extended readings for these pick-a-cards and other like regularly scheduled kind of readings, depending on the what level you would join on that page if you were to do so. So if you want to check that out and see if you feel like doing that, like I said, I'll have the link in the description and you can do that. I would appreciate any of it from I would appreciate any support if that was something any of you were interested in. So I just wanted to make sure I mentioned that, because this reading here will have an extended part for each group that will be available on Patreon for anyone that wanted to support that page. So this reading today is going to be about a loss that you have gone through in your life, and that like a loss that has caused a major like life change for you. And the kind of loss that I am have in mind for this is like a serious relationship breaking up, or anything like that, with losing a partner, or losing a major job or career, or if you're being forced to like relocate and move, or just something like that, like something major that your life was kind of centered around or that influenced your life a lot was suddenly gone. And I don't necessarily mean like any kind of death situation, because this reading is going to be about like why that loss happened and how it kind of affected you and what the results were in your life, and like how your path has changed because of that loss. So it's not about somebody that has died, or passed away that you've lost, because I didn't want this reading to be like trying to talk about why this death was a good thing, because obviously death is sad and tragic, and that's not what this reading is about with loss. It's a loss of a major life event that happened that just kind of changed your course. It's not related to anyone passing away. So if that's what you were worried about, don't worry about that. It will not be about that. So we've got 3 groups here, like usual, and I have pre-shuffled all these cards, or pre-drawn them for you. This is what will be used for your reading here on YouTube, for the general reading, and then for each group I will do an extended part where we will go deeper into why this loss happened to you and how it like changed your future and your course, and what can you expect moving forward from where you are now and down your path that you are now on after this life-changing event happened. And of course there will just be like whatever messages come out from this as well will also be given to you. So we've got group 1, group 2, and group 3. And group 1 has this white onyx crystal right here, or if the look of these cards draws you as well, that can also be a way you can pick. In group 2 you have the blue agate crystal right here, and in group 3 you have a red jasper. If it will focus, I don't know. Oop. I always have to drop at least one. Okay. So, as always, I will have the times for each group listed in the description, so you can skip ahead to whatever group you choose. We will get started with group number 1 here first, and then right after that, if you're in group 1 and want to see the extended, you can click the Patreon link below. It'll take you to my page, and then you can, check that out and see if you're interested in, getting that extended reading or supporting that page. So, we'll get started with group number 1. Okay. Hello, group 1. Grab cards here. You're here if you picked the white onyx crystal, or if the look of these cards drew you in for any reason. I'll leave this up here for you. And you're here for this reading about a loss that you experienced in your life that created some major life change. And we're going to, in this reading, look at what this loss could have been in regards to, or like what the loss was for you. We're going to look at how that affected you personally, or like in your life path. We're going to look at kind of general reasons as to why this loss happened, and then any other messages that I have gotten out of these cards for you. And then if you are wanting to follow into the extended reading on my Patreon, we will look deeper into why this loss happened, or why it had to happen, how it changed your future, and what you can expect moving forward down this life path that you will now be on because of this loss and change. So, like I said, I already pre-shuffled your cards and got them out here. So I will lay them all out and we will get into it. This first tarot deck, I was looking at figuring out what this loss was in regards to in your life. So, first card we have here for this one is the Fool. And then we have the Magician. And we have the Two of Swords. We have the Four of Swords. And we have the Devil. Let's take a look at something real quick. Okay. Starting to kind of get something out of there, but I want to keep looking at the cards before I say anything definitive. So this next tarot deck, I was asking how this loss affected you. And first card we have is the King of Swords, followed by the Four of Cups. And we have the Three of Pentacles. And then the High Priestess. Okay. So, what I'm getting from this top row of tarot that I was kind of seeing at first, but I didn't want to say for sure yet, but this definitely feels like, for at least most of you, that this loss that you went through was related to another person in your life. So probably some sort of relationship, most likely like a romantic relationship that ended, And I thought that initially because these two cards have the little hearts in them, and the Fool and the Magician made me feel like those were kind of talking about the two people involved in this relationship. And to me it feels like it's telling the story of the loss with you. And I think it was because in this relationship, one of you, I feel like probably you guys, group one, the Fool is representing you in that situation. You were very naive is the word that wanted to pop up, but you know, just I think coming in with such pure intentions and happy and excited, like this was a really new thing for you. Maybe it was your first kind of like really serious relationship, or at least one of the big ones for you, where you were just like, oh, this is a whole new thing for me and I'm so excited, and you were happy to be a part of it, that you were just blindly going into some things that maybe you missed some red flags, or maybe there were some things that happened that made you kind of go, well, that's kind of seems odd, but I'm gonna just keep going forward because, you know, this is great, I love this. And maybe you were foolish with it, I don't know, but that feels like it's kind of speaking of you or the person that got the bad end of this loss and change. And then with the Magician, I feel like was with the other person involved, because that card was more of an illusion type of card, and like things not being as they seem, somebody's playing tricks on you. Maybe the reason you couldn't see these red flags or the warnings coming forward with certain things were because this person's really good at hiding that from you and from others. But it was a Magician type of person that caused this loss to happen for you. Because I feel like with this King of Swords being right under the Fool, with this row being how this loss affected you, I think you went from being the Fool to more of the King of Swords, where like now you are much more perceptive, you are easier at finding the lies and the hidden truths, the deceptions people try to pull on you. I think, yeah, you are just, you feel like you moved a little more out of your heart into more of your head as well. So like this loss and change, I think, brought forward in you more of a logical approach to some things like that. Like you're trying to not dive headfirst into things like that again, because it hurt so much last time, or was such a shock to you last time, that you don't want that to happen to you again. Because then we have the Two of Swords here, which says it is, you know, two sides that can't come to a decision. They're not willing to compromise, but something has to be done. So you kind of end up stuck. And I think maybe that was the Magician's not so great stuff coming up, and then you were kind of like, wait, what's happening? And then it became a problem. And then with this Devil card, I'm feeling like this person down here was whoever the Fool character was, probably, again, you, group one. And this Devil is what the Magician actually was. And the Devil's got the heart, you know, between its hands there. And I feel like towards the end of this relationship, I think this person was very manipulative of you, or had a really strong hold over you, and you were just starting to realize that you're trapped, and you were with somebody that you didn't actually see the reality of them at first, and now you did. And it's not, it wasn't the good fairy tale you were hoping for. Now this could have been somebody that you were, like I said, it was a serious relationship. Like I feel like some of you, obviously not everyone involved, but some of you might have been married to this person. Or you were at least living together, I think, because, you know, this person under here has like a restraint on their wrist that's tied to this lock on this structure here that they're trapped in under the devil. So I think you were in some kind of situation where the hold this person had over you was more than just your heart. 'Cause you loved them, you know, and sometimes when you realize the person you love is not who you thought, and maybe they're more horrible than you thought, maybe they were really abusive and you didn't see that for a while. By the time you realize it and you love them so much, it's hard to come to terms with that and let them, you know, let them go. And maybe you were physically trapped being in the same house or being stuck in a legal kind of thing like marriage. And this Four of Swords here is about taking time to stop and think and consider your options. And I think that might have been you trying to do that. Because just because this is a loss and a major change doesn't mean that it had to be enacted by the other side. This could have been you, once realizing what position you were in and what you were stuck with, you finding time to sit down and go, okay, this is bad. I made a horrible mistake, or I'm in a horrible place and I need to get out of here. And you made that choice, you made arrangements, you know, you tried to get whatever you could help-wise to get out of there. And we have the High Priestess here for how this loss affected you. And I think along with this King of Swords, you became much more logically minded, much more perceptive of people, and more likely to catch on to things before it happened to you again because of your experience. But you also are more able or willing to listen to your intuition, or, you know, see the signs or messages from other people or from, you know, whatever guides you have that you listen to. Because maybe you had that before, but being the Fool, you just let it go because you were just too head over heels for this person that you just didn't see. So I think these two for sure are about you changing your perception and how you approach relationships and other people now. And with the Three of Pentacles, although it's probably not the message of the card, but just because of the picture, I think through this experience you realized who really has your back and who is your family and your friends that you can rely on. Because I'm just with these people hugging, I mean, I'm sure these are all family, grandma and mom and child here, but or this may not be family, because I know when they give out free hugs at Pride, they're not people you know, but it's telling of a family kind of thing, or friends, or you realize the kindness of even strangers who will help you get out of this situation. Like I said, if it was a marriage or where you lived with them and you needed to get out of there, you were able to find people who would help you do that and get you out of that situation. And you really realized who you could count on and who you had in your life. The one card in here that seems to be not as cheerful, I guess, which maybe they're not all. This one just seems really happy here, the Three of Pentacles. With this Four of Cups, I think this is more of talking of you not too long after, when you realized, you had this life, as not great as the partner might have been for you, there were obviously probably good times, because that is something that is real. If abusers were abusers 100% of the time, everybody would always know who they are. Sometimes they're really nice to you, or it's good for a while, and you think maybe I was overreacting, and then the bad things happen again, and you're like, no, I was right. But I think with this Four of Cups, it was times when you were in your new place after this, and maybe you're going through the breakup phase or the divorce phase, if that's something that happened. You were just going through that time when you were like, oh, I'm alone now. Like, I don't have that other person with me. Or you were having a hard time mentally, like, struggling, like abuse victims do, of being like, what did I do wrong? What's wrong with me to have made this happen to me? Why did they do this to me? What did I do to deserve this kind of thing? I think this card speaks of you going through that as just, spending a lot of time thinking inwardly about what had happened and why you felt like that was something that happened to you. So, we'll get out your oracle and message cards now. And these are going to be why, in general. It's not going to get super deep into it because this is still a general reading. Kind of be like why this happened, why this loss happened, not the abuse or the relationship exactly, but like why this breakup or divorce or separation or whatever, the loss of this partner happened to you, like why this had to be, and any other like messages coming out. So, oh wow, okay. When I was getting these cards out, I did see this first card flip over when I did, but the other one I didn't see, and oh boy. Okay, so your first card here, we have number 1 of this deck, the Sun. Sun. And then number 4, Happy Family. And there might have been kids involved in this as well. Like, I haven't seen that exactly yet, except for right here. And maybe kind of this card. So that also maybe could have been what gave you this pause with the Four of Swords. Maybe there was a child or two, or, however many involved in this relationship, or that came out of this relationship, that maybe started to also feel this abuse come through. That kind of woke you up to being like, this is not okay. And significant song for you, Group 1. I'm listening to, from Mumford & Sons, Broken Crown. Feels significant because I just paused for a second and heard some of the lyrics that kind of hit me for you. Yeah, I will link that in the description, a lyric video for that song. Good for you, so if you find any meaning in that, feel free to check it out. So, with this Sun card, which is what I was assuming, I saw it and I was like, okay, I didn't see any of the other cards yet, but I was like, oh, I bet I know what that means. But, the Sun is new beginnings and great creativity. It says it's blessings in your life. This is your time for new beginnings, onset of a nurturing new light in your life, the light of divine inspiration and personal growth. It says this card often marks a time of great creativity, bringing the culmination of an important new project, such as the birth of a baby, or the writing or publication of a book, or even the birth of a new you. So it says, put your energy into expressing your truth and vision. See the future you want to create and know the sun is shining on your intentions now. So this is a great card for saying why this break had to happen. Why you had to separate yourself from this devil. Because you were this person. You were chained and trapped underneath the hold of this devil who was mistreating you, and probably, if you had any other children or family involved, also them too. So when you break away from that, you're born again. You can be a new person now. You can be you. You can be free. A new life, a new beginning. Like, this is a great card to come out of getting out of a horrible situation, because this is saying you did it now. You're out from under the hold, you're out of the darkness, you are in the sun where you can start anew and be who you want to be. And then we have the happy family. So like I said, there could have been some children or other family involved in this relationship, and that were affected by this break and this loss. And what I get from this card, just from looking at it, is that now, because this break happened, you can now finally be a happy family. Like, you and whatever children or anyone else involved can do is be happy. It says the rainbow over this happy family portends a time of joy and celebration. Close connections are available, so don't overlook the fun and frivolity that a friend or family experience can bring. So if you're single and if there weren't any children involved in this, if it was just you, finding this card can indicate a potential meeting with someone who has children from a previous marriage. But this could just be you and your children, maybe after this break, and you had time to, you know, get through all this and realize who was in your life that cared about you. This could be you guys all having fun together. It could be a new relationship coming in the horizon that is healthy and happy, and that this person will love your children and treat all of you properly and, you know, like people should be treated. Depending on how soon, you know, how recently this happened, obviously, but or this could just be talking about a celebration. You know, it's anything like that involving you and your family. Alright, and we have some more here. In this card we have number 36, Reassurance of the Golden Light. I feel like that goes with the sun really well. I'll check in the book more specific about it. And then we have number 28, Master Hilarion and Archangel Raphael. And the last card, because my battery's flashing at me, the last oracle card, we have number 18, Air Elemental. And it says, I embrace the element of air and am open to all knowledge and wisdom, which is perfect under the King of Swords. Now let me change my battery and I will do it. Okay, so with these two cards here, we've got 28, Master Hilarion and Archangel Raphael. That card is about taking time to let your mind rest and like rejuvenate and clear out, you know, kind of. I'm sure with everything that would be going on, you have a lot going through your mind, or you're exhausted from everything you have to be doing and taking care of. And this is asking you to kind of take time out to just relax with yourself and your mind and try to let it clear itself out. And it's also a message if you are interested or feel the need to do some healing with your mind. you are encouraged to do so, whether that's with a psychologist or with therapy or hypnosis or just studying other aspects of the mind with like philosophy or things like that, or if you're very religious, to seek out, you know, a guide in your religion to maybe see what you can do to try to calm your mind and just help you process through all of this. So if that is resonating with you, you know, take that as you will. And then with 36, the reassurance of the golden light. This is basically like kind of with the sun a little bit, but like the golden light being the universe kind of shining on you and telling you, you know, that you are loved still, that you are good, and that, you know, kind of like an I see you from the universe. Like, I see you, I see what you're going through, and know that you are still loved, you are still, you know, this, I'll read from the book here. It's reminding you that on the path, the struggle to continue with trust, patience, faith, and courage can seem almost overwhelming. However, the universe is with you, supporting, loving, and believing in you every step of the way. You are not alone. You are never forgotten. You are always loved and encouraged to take your journey. You are reminded that the universe is smiling upon you. So, it says trust and know that everything is working out perfectly and you don't have to worry, even though you don't know why you should possibly feel that way. So, the sun is shining on you, letting you know it's here for you always. Take time to let it sink through your mind, and with this air elemental, open to all knowledge and wisdom that can be related to this with any kind of learning you want to do. And I think just becoming more knowledgeable and perceptive of others is also what that's about. So, I've got a few more little cards for you with probably just more messages and maybe some kind of a general why of this loss being a part of your life. And the first one I've got is desk. It says pay attention to your work. We have gong, an exciting event, which feels like it should go there. Owl, good advice from a wise person. Box, you will receive a gift. And diamond, you'll be receiving or giving a precious gift. So right there with the box. So with these, I feel like with the desk, pay attention to your work. I think that's with these pretty strongly, because it's easy to find yourself wallowing in this Four of Cups kind of card where you're maybe stuck emotionally, you know, agonizing over, you know, how hurtful all this was and how hard it was to let it go. As bad as it was for you and others involved, it still hurts to lose someone you love, even if they weren't the best for you, you know? It always hurts, and it's easy to get lost in that if, you know, especially if it was so significant. It's just this major life thing for you. So it's asking you to kind of let your mind focus more on your work or on other things you can do to keep yourself busy and keep your life going forward. The emotional things, if you take, you know, these messages to heart down here, I think will work themselves out a little more for you, because you got something coming. And that's probably related to this happy family. You know, there could be a new person for you that will be entering your life soon, that will be very significant and make you very happy. And if maybe they do have children and you're going to be joining into a family and be really gifted with that. Or it could be where you have children and they are there and are great parents and all of that, however it might work out. Or it could just be you and another person, any way that you could have a happy family. And then this owl, good advice from a wise person, feels very much like with this Three of Pentacles, is why I'm glad it ended up being right here. And with this Four of Swords probably, but again, it's like I think you really found your family and your friends that you rely on and that you know you can trust through this, and the ones that you couldn't. And I think at least one wise person in your close group, your family group, is the one who was finally able to get you the advice and the push you needed to get yourself out of the situation, or for you to let them help you get out of this. And then we have gone with an exciting event. So this could be something coming for you, an exciting event that is going to bring about maybe this new family. It feels like I need to put this here. Like, I think an exciting event is going to bring you a great gift that could help with your happy family. So we've got all of this for you, where I think you went through a lot with a person who was abusive or just very wrong for you, that lied about a lot of things, that might have had a lot of dark troubles, that just could not work with you. And with the help of people around you, you were able to get yourself out, and it would obviously shift everything in your life. And then you lost maybe even your identity of who you were, because you were just this person in this relationship. And you've started over and you've become smarter and more perceptive and stronger, I think. And now you have this new beginning and all this light and love around you that is helping you move forward, and you will have some gift coming, or maybe you have already received this and you know what this is talking about. But that is what I have for you, Group 1, with why this loss happened. And if you would like to hear more on this, you can click the link in the description to go to my Patreon, where I will have an extended reading on this, where we will get into deeper into why this break had to happen. Like, it seems pretty clear to me here why it had to happen, or why it did happen, but we will get into it even more, and more into like how it completely changed your life path as to where you're going and what you can expect moving forward down the line. So if you are interested in hearing more about all of that, like I said, go to my Patreon and check it out, and you can see more of a reading there. And hopefully this resonated with you, Group 1. You can let me know if it did in the comments. And if you want to see more readings from me, go ahead and subscribe. And hopefully I will see you in the next reading. Bye-bye. Hello, Group 2. You are here if you picked the blue agate crystal, or if these cards called out to you. I'll put that up here. Now for this reading, this is going to be about a major, like, life-changing loss that you have suffered in your life. And it can be really recent, or it could be something that happened a while back. But by loss, I mean like a... Okay, so sorry, battery died, of course, mid-sentence again. So, loss. The loss that I'm talking about in this reading is a major life-changing event that happened to you. And it can be like, if a serious relationship that ended, It could be losing a major job or career that you were in, maybe having to change an education major or focus or school, or being forced to relocate. Something major like that. This has nothing to do with someone passing away or losing somebody in that sense, because that's just not what this reading is about. So, you have pre-drawn your cards, Tarot and Oracle, and in this reading here we will be going over what kind of loss this was that you went through, how it affected you, a general kind of idea as to why this loss occurred in your life, and then any other messages that come through with the cards. And as I said in the beginning, I will be having an extended reading on this on my Patreon, which is linked in the description. So once this reading is done, you can follow over to the Patreon page and check that out and see if you'd like to view the extended reading. And in the extended reading, we're going to be going deeper into why this loss had to happen and why this change occurred in your life. We're going to see how it changed your life path and your future, and we're going to be kind of looking into what you can look forward to coming down the road in your future now. So I will start looking at your cards here and we'll see what we got. So this first tarot deck that I drew from was to answer what kind of loss this was. So the first card we have is the Hermit. Okay. We have the Ten of Swords. We have the Queen of Wands. And the Knight of Cups. Okay, I have a general kind of idea of what might have happened here, but I'm going to get into your next tarot deck before I say anything. In this tarot deck, I was asking how this loss and change affected you. I'm going to move these a little bit, actually. It has to be centered. Okay. So the first card we have from the second tarot deck is the Two of Swords. And then we have the Chariot. We have the Six of Pentacles. We have the Moon. And the Emperor. I feel like what is funny to me is I didn't consider that when I made this reading, loss doesn't have to mean it was something. A loss or major life change obviously doesn't have to have been something negative. Like, the change of it can be hard to deal with, but it doesn't have to be someone breaking your heart or someone ending your career, although it could have been what happened. Because, frankly, the feeling I'm getting from this deck, or from this right now, is that with the Hermit and the Ten of Swords, I feel like what you lost was your solitude and your depression, or your suffering with this Ten of Swords. I feel like you were a person that spent a lot of time on their own. You know, they were alone a lot of their life. And always felt like, that hermit type. And I think that caused you a lot of pain. Or maybe you had so much social anxiety, or you're very asocial, and it was just really hard for you to connect with people very long, or to try to socialize because of anxiety or something like that. And I think you went through a change where that changed for you. And what I kept hearing and seeing once I saw these cards, and then with like the Emperor and the Chariot, and frankly because of the next two that I pulled for you, which I'll put up here now since I'm going to talk about them, is the very affirmative yes and you're ready. For some reason, seeing some of these, like Six of Pentacles, the Emperor, and the Chariot, plus the yes, you're ready, made me feel like you were somebody who spent a lot of time alone, or felt like they always would, and yet you were embodying one or both of these characters, the Queen of Wands and the Knight of Cups. So like you seemed very confident, very like opposite of what you actually felt and were inside, because the Queen of Wands seems very opposite to what you were feeling. Same with even kind of the Knight of Cups, because the Knight of Cups is a lot of like being like a player romantically, you know, not settling in relationships for a long time, going through lots of partners, loving love, you know, wanting to always be connected to a person. And maybe you were, maybe that was something that you did a lot in your past. Because you can do that and still feel very alone. If you're not making true emotional like connections with people, if you were just staying in people's company, you know, just to have a connection of some type to make you think you could feel alive using that, while giving out this confident air of just being the best person there is, but inside you hate yourself, you know, or you're suffering, you're like, I'm always going to be alone because nobody actually loves me. Nobody cares about me. I think you lost that. Which is good. Because it seems like you grew into this Emperor kind of energy, where you became more of a leader, more of a person that was in charge, and more confident, like actually deep down, not just on the surface, like the Queen of Wands, to be attractive to others and bring them in, and just reveling in everybody telling you how great you are. Now you actually believe that you're great. And you actually know you are this Emperor person who can maybe form stable long-term relationships. Or for some of you, and I have to say it because I kept hearing it after seeing some of these cards, I think this is also about like starting a family with like this row, because like the yes, you're ready, like up here you weren't ready for a long-term like partnership, settling down, but now you are, because you're this Emperor character. And the Six of Pentacles, I think up here maybe you were just more irresponsible with money and your time and just you, because you were miserable and you wanted to do everything you could to keep people around you to maybe feel like you weren't so miserable. But you hit a point where you lost that, and you had to make a decision with staying the same or deciding to grow up and, you know, kind of change your thinking and change how you thought about yourself. It could have been that you got some kind of therapy, or maybe it was just maturing as a person. Whatever it was, you embraced it with the choice to take the chariot and move forward and turn into this emperor person. And with the moon, I think being here, it's the illusions are gone, is what I heard. The illusion you had that you had to be this person for people to care about you, to like you, to want to be around you. You realized eventually that who you are is who you are and should be embraced. And I think with the Six of Pentacles, it feels like you finding actual friends and people who want to be around you now, that you are your real you. Yeah, we have this, yes, you are ready. Maybe this was something you had always wanted and you just never thought it could be because of how you lived before, but now you're ready for it. And I might ask for some more clarification about how that change happened, because I'm not getting the how exactly yet. But let's look at a few more of your other cards here. Maybe they'll tell me. So your next card I got here with the oracles is number 37, Silver Siren. And when I was pulling these oracle cards, it was like a I was asking, generally why this loss happened to you in your life, like the reasoning as to why, and any other messages that needed to be brought out for you. And this next card I have for you is number 42, Rare, Raw, and Real, which I feel like I know what that's talking about already for you. So let me just check the book in a second. And the next oracle card I got here is number 26, Vesica Pisces. Oh, that would have fit up there perfectly. I had it situated just right, and I ruined that. Before I get to your last few little cards, I'm going to look at these. So with Silver Siren, which I think I understand now. I think the Silver Siren was who you were trying to be up top, and this is who you are now. Let me look for sure, though. It says Silver Siren. When is an enchantment not enchanting? When it is a spell that you allow to consume your free will, even as it promises so much and yet delivers so little. The Silver Siren sings her song, a pretty poison to the soul. Her false allure tempts the mind, even whilst the heart feels that something is not quite right. Your power will come from discerning the truth and allowing her false promises no place in your heart. Wow! So, yeah, I think you were being the Silver Siren. Or you had that mindset before. The illusions that are gone now. But, yeah, okay. So, it says there's one lesson to be learned through the siren song, the same lesson always. No matter what the circumstances may be, if you compromise your integrity, you will find that what you have obtained was not worth the price you paid for it. No matter how much you believed it would be otherwise. It simply will not be worthwhile. Okay. So yeah, this card is all about the illusion of the siren song, of the illusion of allurement and all of these things that you were doing to make yourself feel like you were that person when it wasn't true. This card is asking you to sing your song of who you really are, not this person, because that's not you. Which is showing here, like this, you've changed it. This is all an illusion, and if you'd stayed in this for too long, you would have completely lost yourself and been nobody of who you actually were. Which is amazing that it's with the raw, rare, I keep saying raw first, rare, raw, and real card. Because this is what this is asking of you, to be your real, true self underneath. And let me look that one up to see exactly what it says. It says, there is a unique beauty in you that wants to shine through. It is different. It may not be pretty, neat, and tidy, and you might even feel vulnerable about sharing this real, unveiled you with the world. Do it anyway. Because the world wants to love you. The rare, raw, and real you. Yes! You're ready. I think you were just scared. You were putting this shell on of this when you were this underneath. And it is scary to truly be yourself. Because if people reject that, then they're rejecting you, the actual you. If they didn't like this, you're like, who cares? Somebody else will like it. And in your mind, you're like, this isn't the real me anyway. So if you don't like that, it doesn't matter. I think that's what it was for you. So it says, it's time to peel back the layers and unearth the real you. Naked, vulnerable, real, beautiful. With every layer of hiding and protection removed, you'll encounter whatever it is that caused that layer of self-protection to be built up in the first place. Maybe a sense of shame, fear, hate, anger, or doubt. These feelings might seem so confronting that you'll wonder if there are a sign to back off. If you can affirm your love for yourself and a willingness to be patient whilst you become ready to be known and seen and loved for who you are underneath those layers of pain, then you'll find it easier to let them fall away. Now, as that happens, there will be a revelation of a raw, rare, and real you that you didn't even know was there. So pure, so powerful, so precious. This inner light of you will shine through like a lantern suddenly illuminated with the radiance of you lighting up the dark. Yeah, so okay, so I was right in my assumption with these first row of cards, because at first I was confused. Because again, when I made this reading, when I thought of a loss that caused a major life change, I always feel like it's a negative, like you lost your partner, by them leaving you, or you lost your way down the road because your way to get there was taken. Like, I don't know why it didn't occur to me that a loss can be a positive loss. You lost this need to, or this shell of a siren that you were keeping on as a protection for your hermit self that hated yourself because you thought everybody would hate you always. And it's showing that you lost that. And now you're ready to step into your true self as this emperor, which is amazing. I mean, obviously this could still be an ongoing process for you. It might just be you beginning to realize this, but still, like, that's great. I'm looking at this card now next. Okay, and it says creating soul truth in the world. So being your truth, being the true you. The outside world feels more real than the inner world because we have been encouraged to focus more on what is outside of us. We have learned to give things that can be seen by others or touched by us more importance than what we feel. And that's what you were doing. You were getting all your confidence and reassurance from people outside of you by pretending to be the best thing there was, going through people quickly so they couldn't see you were being deceptive. before they could see this part of you, you left. Because you were also just terrified that they would reject you and they would hate you like you hate yourself. You thought, I will always be truly alone because nobody ever knows me, because nobody wants to know me. But the truth is, you never gave anyone a chance to know you. So, when our internal and external realities are integrated, decisions are clear and easily made. This leads to satisfaction as there is no resistance to your fulfillment. So okay, this card is just about merging your external self and world with your inner self and bringing them to a happy middle, which is what you need to do. Because maybe some of these aspects are true to you, but you were just playing it as that is all you are. When you have more underneath, and you need to marry these two to really be you. And this is saying that you are definitely ready for that. So now I will get into your last cards here to get any more messages into why this change happened. The first card I got here is Dog, Close Up, Pleasure with a Close Friend. So that could have been maybe what caused it. Maybe you did have like one really good friend that knew you maybe when you were younger, that you met again and they're like, who are you? Like, I know who you are, and like they've always been with you, you know, as a friend, and maybe they made you kind of realize what you were doing, and they told you, you know, I think you're great, and I think if you gave people a chance, they would think that too, if you just let them see who you are. So, your next card is Lightning. Control your anger or you will be sorry. Alright, maybe on this persona you put out there was a little hasty, a little angry, a little aggressive, trying to protect that, you know, more vulnerable underbelly that you have. The next card here is Lily, Spiritual Love. Then we have Tree, Affairs with your family. And then Barrel. You feel something is lacking in your life, perhaps love, money, or goals. Yeah. So, with these, the affairs with your family and your close friend, I think they were probably some of the influential people into helping you make this change, or kind of have a self-realization about what you were doing and why. And I think this Barrel card also has a lot to do with it, because you were lacking in your life. I think the reason you were protecting yourself so much, that vulnerable side of you, is, you know, you might be a lot more sensitive to things than you think, or than you wanted to admit. And I think love was a big thing that you were looking for. Oh man, okay. So this song, I'm going to recommend you a song. Feels really significant for you too. It's from a musical, Bombay Dreams. And it is The Journey Home is the name of the song. And I think with this, because I saw the play a long time ago, I think the guy singing it is singing about, I mean, he's going home back to his family and friends and people he knows, because he went off to Bollywood, I believe, to Bollywood, like that's a place, but he was wanting to become a part of the Bollywood scene and, you know, be famous, And I think he realized how much that was changing him as a person, or what that would entail for him to do. And he didn't like that anymore, so he decided to go home, where he felt, you know, safe, and where his heart could be happy. And I think that's significant for you. So I'll leave a link to a lyric video for that for you in the description. If I find a lyric. If not a lyric, just, you know, a video. But yeah, especially with this Lily card too, I think one of those things that you thought you were lacking was the love, the actual spiritual love from others. Because again, they couldn't love you because they didn't know the real you. There was just this person that you portrayed to them. Okay, so yeah, that is what I'm seeing for you, group 2. At this point, I will be taking it into the extended reading, so if you want to get deeper into why this change and this loss happened in your life, and how it has changed your life path now and where you would be going, and what you can be looking forward to down the road in the near future, you can go into the description and click on my Patreon link, the Patreon page I just set up. I will have that extended reading there for you, where we're going to go deeper into all of this if you'd like to do that. So, thank you for watching. You can let me know in the comments if any of this made any sense for you. And subscribe if you want to see any more readings from me in the future. And I hope I will see you in the next reading. Okay. Bye-bye. Alright, hello group 3. Had to turn my overhead light on, so it's... I'll fix the coloring, I'm sure, but it's very yellow in here now. Sun has gone down. You are here if you picked the red jasper crystal. Put that right there. Now, this reading, I am doing about a major loss in your life. A major loss that caused a, like, life-changing change to happen. And by loss, I don't mean a death, because that's just not what this reading's about. A loss as in losing a romantic partner, because, you know, the relationship ended for whatever, you know, however that happened, or you losing a major job or career you were in, losing a home, or like relocating because of some event that caused you to relocate, losing your schooling ability or financial, you know, gain of losing everything. Things like that is what I'm talking about in this reading. And in this reading here, we will be going over what kind of loss this was that you experienced, how that loss affected you personally, our kind of general reasons as to why this loss happened in your life, and then any other messages that come out of this reading. And this reading will also have an extended part where we will be getting deeper into why this loss and change happened, how this loss and change adjusted your life path and course and where you were going, and what you can be looking forward to because of this change in the near future. And that extended reading is going to be offered on my Patreon, which the link is for in the description. So if you want to check that out and go into there, it would be appreciated, but that choice is up to you if you would like. So I got all your cards, shuffle that right here, and we're going to start getting into it. And with this first tarot deck, I was just asking to see what kind of loss that we will be looking at for you. So the first card I have from this deck is the Queen of Skulls. And then we have the Three of Scepters. And we have Temperance. And then the Six of Grails. And what I found just from doing the other two groups readings already is that when I asked for like what kind of loss this was, I don't know what I was expecting because I've never done a reading like this before, but what ended up happening is it's kind of just telling me the story of what you were going through, kind of, to kind of get the idea of what it was that happened. And I'm getting a general idea with this one, but I'm gonna put your next tarot deck cards out before I say anything, because it usually helps to confirm or let me know what exactly it is. So with the next tarot deck, I was asking how this change affected you when it happened. So the first card of this deck, we have the Eight of Swords. We have the Ace of Pentacles. And we have the King of Cups. The Seven of Wands. And we have the Hermit as the last one of this deck. I'm trying to get the clear message here, but to me this feels like it was definitely a loss or a change that had to do with relocation. Like, I think whatever this loss was, it caused you to have to move, and not just like within the same town. Like, you moved far away. And with the Six of Grails here, I think for some of you, because I know it's not all of you, but some people, this move was you moving back to your hometown, like where you grew up. Because with this, the Three of Scepters is what's making me think this was you actually moving locations. I'll probably have to get a little more, or it'll probably come to me eventually, but to know exactly what it was that caused the relocation. But yeah, it was something to do with moving, because with how it affected you, I'm seeing with Ace of Pentacles makes me feel like you started a different job. Or your financial income changed because of this. So probably a job that you had to start a new job there, and maybe that was why you had to move. Maybe you got a new job offer that you had to move for, or your other job ended where you had to move, something like that. Then with the Eight of Swords, I think this move, or this like need to move, caused you to feel like your choice was kind of taken from you. Yeah, like your circumstances that you were in, it was like you didn't want to do this, but something happened where it was just like, well, I really don't have another option. I have to do this. I have to move. I have to change everything, because my decision of it was taken away from me. With that Seven of Wands in there, though, I think how it affected you after you were able to kind of face difficulties like that a little more readily than before. God, So you excuse the screaming you might be able to hear in the background. It's just warm enough today apparently that the kids have decided to all come outside my place and start screaming like they're being murdered, but you know, that's what happens around here. Yeah, I think it kind of brought more of that out of you, I guess, is what I want to say. I lost my train of thought doing that, sorry. I get slightly alarmed when I hear screaming, but, you know, I forget that children do that outside. Because, yeah, it says with the Seven of Wands, it's like, take a stand, defend what you believe in. The world is full of strife and stiff competition. One must have courage in facing the difficulties that come. So I think it just made you more, like, hardened and able to, like, face these kind of difficulties, because having to relocate real far away, or maybe going back to a hometown if that's something you didn't want to do, is going to kind of have to make you kind of get ready to toughen up about it, because some people, you know, feel like moving back home isn't what you're supposed to do. I mean, you totally can. There's nothing wrong with doing that. But I think it kind of made you a little defensive. And we had the King of Cups, which I think, like, Queen of Skulls up there I think was talking of you, and this one is also of you, kind of how it affected you personally. And with the King of Cups, you know, the King of Cups is that he cares for, protects, and watches over all those who are near to him. He is wise and understanding, knows the meaning of patience. Which, frankly, for me, the Queen of Skulls also feels like a very patient person, a very grounded person, a very secure and stable, which so is the King of Cups. So I think you yourself as a person didn't change a whole lot in how you act and think, but it just made you maybe a little more, like, defensive of what you do and why you had to move. Just being like, well, this is a thing and we're gonna do it, you know. And with the Hermit, I think maybe you did kind of have to withdraw. For the people that didn't move to their hometown, this could also just be a card of, like, I'm in a new place now where I don't know anybody, so I feel like a hermit because everybody's a stranger to me now, and I have to, like, remake friends and all of that kind of thing. So that can also just be an effect of moving to a new place. So yeah, a new place, new job, new people. Feeling like that choice was taken from you is how this affected you. Now I will get into your oracle cards a little bit. And with these oracle cards that I pulled, I was just asking kind of like to get messages and kind of get into why this loss and change, life change happened to you. So, the first card I've got here is Remain Positive. And we have Improving Health. So the Remain Positive feels like obviously just a message to stay positive about this. Like, you may not have felt like or have had any choice in you having to do this relocation, but you know, you're being asked to remain positive about it, because you never know what it's going to bring for you. You know, moving can also, you know, be really rough. It really is. I've moved so many times in the last few years. But remain positive, you know, try to keep a good outlook on what could be coming. With improving health, that's a really good thing, obviously, for anyone. Yeah, they're pretty straight. These cards are pretty straightforward with it. It's just improving health. I think once you've been relocated to the place you are now, I think health matters will just be able to be improved, coming down the road. And that might be kind of a reason why. Maybe if you'd stayed in your old place, that wouldn't have really been something that could have happened as easily, maybe. And the next card I got for you here is number 14. Is carrying connections. So maybe some of you that moved, especially people probably that moved back to like their hometown, you've got those carrying connections of, you know, family and like old childhood friends that were there that, you know, probably make you feel a little better about moving back, and just being able to kind of be surrounded by people you know. For people that didn't move to their hometown, it's this is a card of friendship, partnership of two, possible love. Maybe if people that moved that were not already in a relationship could have met a significant other after the relocation that you obviously wouldn't have met had you not moved. Yeah, it's just opportunities to forge new or deeper bonds. So yeah, with relocating, you could have met a significant other or even just good friends that you've made here, and you know, that's another reason why this could have happened. You know, maybe these are people you were supposed to meet that you needed to meet for some reason or another, and now you can because you're in the same area. The next card I got is number 10, Storm Warning. Oh, it's clouds on the horizon. This card indicates a potential difficulty, either in the external world or within yourself and your emotional life. The difficulty is coming closer, and you may have already heard rumblings of potential problems around you. The caution here is to be conscious, yet not fearful. Consider what's going on, look at the situation with calm clarity. Investigate your options and honor yourself and your intentions. As with all difficulty, even the worst storm passes. Always remember you have the power and the wisdom to handle whatever may come your way. So that could be a message for you currently, or that could also have been another reason why. Maybe if you had stayed where you were before, there was this tornado that was barreling towards you that you weren't even completely aware of yet, and maybe you dodged that by moving away, you know? Or if you feel like this is relevant for you presently, then that is a message for you to keep an eye out on some difficulties that maybe are rearing their head right now, but just know that all storms do pass. Even if you have a difficult time coming up soon, it will pass on its own. Alright, and the next card we have is number 11 here, which is Sun. Paint the sun back into your sky. That feels like it should go right there with the remain positive. Again, pretty straightforward deck, but I'm just going to look at what it might say here as well. That's not where the book is. Where did I put the book? Oh no. Oh, there's. Paint the sun back into your sky. Don't build a home that will come crumbling down if a single person walks out the front door. When it comes down to it, we can't depend on other people to make us feel happy or fulfilled. The fact is that people are going to leave from time to time, and you're the only one who's guaranteed to stay. Take the time to find sources of joy outside of your loved ones. You deserve happiness that lasts. So I'm sure that's a message relevant to somebody out there watching, and could be another remain positive. Maybe when you had to do this relocation, some of you lost, you know, really good friends that couldn't come with you, and you've lost touch, or possibly partners even, you know, and you had to come here alone maybe even, and it's just like you feel awful about it, but you know, you are the only constant in your life, and you have the power to paint that sun all on your own and have it be in your life forever. So just remember that as well. So that feels like a message for you. I got a few more little message cards here that might give us more insight into everything. we have number. We have this card, Parrot. Someone will gossip about all your secrets. Let me put that up there. And we have Boot. Increase your efforts if you want to achieve your goals. And we have Ant. Work, achievement, success. And then we have the Harp. Great happiness, which is always good. And then the last one here, we have Boat. Money or property through inheritance, winning, or windfall. Okay. This Parrot, oops, someone will gossip about all your secrets. I think that had something to do with the loss and change that happened, if it was like a job. Or it could also be for those people, again, that moved back to their hometown, because if you live in a smaller town, at least, and I know from growing up in one, everybody knows everything about everyone else. They gossip about everyone all the time. You know, and when everybody knows everything about you, people know more than you want them to sometimes, and that might just be something to be aware of when you're going home, or if this was something relevant to a work situation before that maybe led to some of this breaking off, you know. And then we've got a lot to do with work and money here. So I do feel like definitely that is what caused this relocation. Something to do with work, a job that maybe changed that caused you to relocate, or maybe a job that you lost that then caused you to relocate in order to find a new job, a new career, and start over kind of thing. But I think with that Boot in there, I think you really worked hard, and you are obviously doing well. And with this Boat here, financially, whether it be through just your work efforts, or maybe, you know, like it says, an inheritance or winning, something like that, you're going to be doing pretty well financially. And you got the Harp, the great happiness, achievement and success. Like, this relocation, I think, although hard and difficult, because big moves always are, I think it's going to bring you a lot of, obviously, success and happiness, connections, you know, improving health. I think this move was probably a very good thing to happen for you. You know, not saying that you would have been miserable before, but just the fact that this happened doesn't mean that your life fell apart either. You're also down a happy road from what I can see where you are currently. And these cards also want you to remember to remain positive about that, and to keep your sun up, because everything looks really good. It looks positive. It looks like you're really working. Some of you maybe need to keep an eye on for something coming up on the horizon, but I'm not seeing it as a major downfall for anyone. Alright, so that is what I've got for you, Group 3, for this reading. If you would like to get deeper into why this change happened and how it has altered your course of life and what you can be looking forward to coming in the future because of this change, you can click on the Patreon link I have in the description to go to the extended reading where we will get more into this. But if you're done with it right here, thank you for watching, and I hope I will see you in the next reading. Bye-bye.